Hello peoples, it is I, PotatoPikachu, and today I'll talk about team gloves. Now, I'm sure that you all noticed how popular gloves are, and when they were just introduced to the game on November 28, 2016, people weren't too excited about it, and I myself didn't believe at the time that gloves were going to be a big thing, but here we are now, and gloves are very popular, and I love them now. And you can do amazing combinations with gloves and knives, and gloves and skins, and it's another great way to diversify the economy instead of just gun skins and knife skins all the time. But even before the first gloves were introduced to the game, during some tournaments like Star Ladder in 2016, they implemented a mod where team gloves were shown during games, and I must say that not all of them looked great since it was just the team logo over a default glove, but the idea was there. And with how many gloves were already introduced till now, I believe that Valve should add team gloves to the game. It would be perfect to make it so that the team gloves added are for teams that qualify for the major, and this would just make the gloves more exclusive and add more hype to the skin community, as the only way to have your favorite team's gloves in-game would be for them to qualify for the major itself. Not only would the community love it, but Valve could make a ton of money off of it by adding it to a case. I'm suggesting this because lately, the cases have been a bit bland with little creativity, as all Valve are doing right now is adding knives with old finishes on them and adding it to the game. Now, some of the knives with old finishes look great, don't get me wrong, but it does get old and shows the lack of creativity. Now, some rumors say that team patches are going to be added to the game, and that's cool and all, but the problem is that you can't directly see the patch itself. Only other people can see the patch, while you can't. The purpose of skins is for you to directly see it, and if you can't even see what you purchased, then you're just gonna forget about it and not even care about it one bit. You're just gonna sell it off because you can't even see it in game. It's no point. With gloves, on the other hand, if team gloves were added, then you could always see it as you hold your gun or knife, making it, in my opinion, a much better option. I personally don't care much for agents or patches, so I do have some bias for the gloves, but it is valid. Agents and patches would just make players easier to spot or more difficult to spot depending on the agent you have, which really ruins the gameplay in competitive. Trust me, I've seen some places like in Cash where you have like a green agent and you can barely see them. It really ruins the competitive scene. And the fact that pros can't even use agent models during competitive play during tournaments just shows how much of a flop these agents are, and they're not going to go anywhere in my opinion. Now, gloves on the other hand are barely visible and don't really affect visibility of a player. The only way to spot a player's gloves, if they do have one, is if you're really up close to their body to see it, so it doesn't really affect competitive play. I think most of you can agree that if you were to choose between team patches and team gloves would be a more popular option just because of the fact that you can directly see the glove itself, and it gives a sense of pride in the team that you decide to show off, because after all, if you get one of your favorite teams as the glove, then you can just show it off. Also, I think it would give motivation for players and orgs to step up their game to have the exclusivity of having their team logo on gloves. It's the same concept as the stickers for the majors. It's an orgs and players' chance to have their name and brand forever in the game. Also, CSGO player base is at an all-time high, so having the chance to potentially have more exposure of your brand to more players can give more revenue, as they would look into your brand and purchase other items. Player signed gloves or something of the sort could be cool as well, but that's another topic for another video. So adding team gloves exclusive for a major or an event of importance is a breath of fresh air compared to the stickers we have known for so long. And I know I keep on associating team gloves with the major, but I believe that should be the only way for these sort of gloves to be added to the game, as there are only a certain amount of gloves in each case, and it making a major exclusive narrows down the large amount of teams that are in CSGO for Valve to choose from. And I think it should just be a case, because if you just put only gloves in like a set, like that's just not gonna work. It's not the same as a sticker capsule. You can't just make a glove capsule, because that would just ruin all the other gloves in all the other cases that have been released. So I think the case is the only option for team gloves to be put in. Anyways, I believe that Valve needs to do something interesting with the skins and cases, and I think this is a very cool concept that can bring a lot of hype to the community. Pros would be excited to wear their team logos and players as well. a lot of cool combinations with team gloves and team sticker crafts could be created out of this. And since we didn't have a major for the latter half of the year, this could bring more hype, more exposure to the game as well, because it would show that Valve are thinking about pro teams as well. So it could be a good idea for Valve and everyone participating in it. But that's all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really appreciate the support and the recent burst in subscribers. I'm extremely grateful for this, and I'll continue to make videos. So like the video, comment your ideas for me to read, and subscribe. And I'm a Potato, and in Pikachu, Potato Pikachu signing out. Peace.